something is happening at the airports. If you look at the departure gates in Los Angeles, New York, or London, you will see a demographic trend that isn't making headlines on mainstream news, but is dominating the undercurrents of the internet. Men are leaving, they are packing their bags, selling their condos, and closing their businesses. They are booking one-way tickets to Manila, Medellin, Warsaw, and Bangkok. They call themselves passport brothers, digital nomads, or simply expats. But if you ask them why they are leaving, the answer is almost never about the weather. It is almost never about the taxes. It is about love, or rather the lack of it. For the first time in modern history, we are witnessing a mass sociological migration based on dating market dynamics. A growing number of Western men have concluded that the relationship deal offered in the West is no longer a good deal. They argue that the social contract between men and women in America has broken down. But is this true? Is this just a group of bitter men running away from strong women? Or is there a fundamental mismatch between modern Western culture and the biological imperatives of relationships? Today, on World Inside Us, we are not looking for villains. We are looking for data. We are looking for psychology. We are going to compare the American mentality against the foreign mentality to understand why millions of men are voting with their feet and leaving the West behind. To understand the exodus, we have to look at the culture that these men are leaving. America is the most successful economy in history. It is built on competition, individualism, and the relentless pursuit of more. For decades, this drive was focused on the workplace, but in the last 40 years, this hyper-individualism has bled into the home. The primary complaint from men leaving the West is that dating an American woman feels like dating a competitor, not a partner. In the US, the modern cultural narrative tells women that they do not need men. I can buy my own flowers. I can pay my own bills. While this independence is an economic triumph, it has created a psychological wall in romantic relationships. When a man goes on a date in New York City or Chicago, he often finds himself sitting across from a woman who is essentially interviewing him for a job vacancy. The energy is combative. It is a negotiation. There is a palpable sense of what can you do for me that I can't do for myself. And since the modern Western woman can do almost everything for herself, the bar for the man becomes impossibly high, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually. He must be better than her solitude. And her solitude is very comfortable. Men are biologically wired to be useful. We have a hero instinct. We want to provide, protect, and solve problems. When a culture tells men that their provision is unnecessary and their protection is patronizing, men do not fight back. They simply disengage. They go where they are needed. Before we travel across the ocean, I want to ask the men watching, do you feel needed in modern Western relationships, or do you feel like an accessory? Let me know in the comments below. So, what happens when this same man lands in a place like Vietnam, Poland, or Brazil? He experiences culture shock, but not because of the poverty or the language. He is shocked by the peace. In many cultures outside the West, particularly in Eastern Europe, Latin America, and Southeast Asia, femininity is defined differently. It is not defined by how much a woman can conquer the world. It is defined by how well she can nurture her world. Let's look at the cooperation versus competition dynamic. In collectivist cultures which make up most of the non-Western world, the family unit is the survival strategy. A woman in the Philippines or Colombia is raised with the understanding that life is hard, and the only way to survive is to cooperate. She views a man not as a competitor for status, but as a teammate for survival. When a Western man starts dating a foreign woman, he often reports a sudden drop in blood pressure. The combativeness is gone. The constant shit tests and power struggles that define American dating are replaced by a desire to please. She asks, "Are you hungry?" Before she asks, "What do you do for a living?" she asks, "How was your day?" with genuine concern. Because if you fail, the team fails. This is what the passport brothers mean when they talk about traditional values. It's not necessarily about a woman who stays in the kitchen. It is about a woman whose default setting is cooperation. In the West, peace is often seen as boring. Drama is mistaken for passion. In the rest of the world, peace is seen as the ultimate luxury. And men are realizing they are willing to travel 5,000 miles to find it. Now, we have to address the biggest criticism of this movement. The critics say, these women don't love you. They love your wallet. They want a green card. You are engaging in geo-arbitrage. Is this true? Yes and no. It is undeniable that the Western currency gives men an advantage. A salary of $60,000 a year makes you middle class in Chicago, but it makes you a king in Bangkok or Medellin. But to dismiss these relationships as purely transactional is a massive oversimplification of female psychology. Every relationship, in every culture, has a transactional element. In America, the transaction is often status-based. A woman wants a man who is 6 feet tall, has a six-pack and makes 6 figures. Is that not transactional? In developing nations, the transaction is security-based. Yes, she values your resources. But in exchange, she offers youth, beauty, loyalty, and femininity. It is a trade. And for many men, it is a much fairer trade than what they get at home. Furthermore, there is a biological reality called hypergamy, the instinct for women to date across and up the dominance hierarchy. In the West, because women have risen so high economically, the pool of men above them has shrunk to a tiny percentage. A female CEO in New York has almost zero options because she only wants a man more successful than her. By going abroad, a regular Western man, an electrician, a teacher, a truck driver suddenly becomes a high-value provider. He restores the natural balance of hypergamy. He feels respected because he is providing value, and she feels safe because she is with a man who can take care of her. It is not just about buying affection. It is about finding a market where your assets are valued correctly. There is another reason men are leaving, and it has nothing to do with love. It has to do with law. The Western marriage contract is viewed by many modern men as a liability with unlimited downside and very little upside. In the United States, divorce rates hover around 50%. In the UK and Canada, the numbers are similar. The family court systems in the West are often perceived rightly or wrongly as being heavily biased against men. Alimony, child support, and the division of assets can ruin a man financially for decades. A man building a business in his 30s looks at marriage in the West and sees a coin flip where heads, I lose half my stuff, tails, I keep what I have. In contrast, many foreign cultures still view marriage as a sacred covenant, not a temporary legal arrangement. While divorce exists everywhere, the incentive structure is different. In cultures like Eastern Europe or Asia, the social shame of divorce is still high. Families get involved to keep the couple together. A woman is taught that breaking up the family is a failure of duty, not an act of self-discovery. For a Western man, dating abroad feels like taking out an insurance policy. He feels he is investing his time and heart into a culture that actually wants the marriage to succeed, rather than a culture that encourages women to leave if you aren't 100% happy every single moment. We are breaking down the uncomfortable truths about society that mainstream media ignores. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, subscribe to World Inside Us. Join our community of critical thinkers. However, we must issue a warning. Geography is not a magic pill. Many men pack their bags thinking that simply crossing a border will solve their dating problems. They land in a major capital city and are shocked to find that the women there are just as westernized as the ones back home. Globalization is real. TikTok, Instagram, and Hollywood have exported Western feminism and consumerism to every corner of the globe. A wealthy girl in Seoul, a party girl in Dubai, or a corporate lawyer in Warsaw might have more in common with a girl from Los Angeles than with her own grandmother. The foreign mentality we discussed, the cooperation. The traditional values is often found outside the major tourist hubs. It is found in the middle class or in the provinces. Furthermore, dating foreigners comes with its own brutal set of challenges. The language barrier is not cute after 6 months. It is isolating. The cultural differences in raising children can be a war zone. And yes, there are scammers. There are women who view you simply as a walking ATM. If you go abroad with a savior complex, thinking you are God's gift to foreign women, you will be eaten alive. The men who succeed are the ones who respect the culture, learn the language, and integrate. They don't just export their American body, they import the foreign mindset. So, why are men leaving the West? They are leaving because the market has spoken. In economics, capital flows to where it is treated best. Emotional capital is no different. Men are taking their resources, their attention, and their commitment to places where they receive a higher return on investment. They are tired of apologizing for their masculinity. They are tired of walking on eggshells. They are tired of the competition. They are looking for a partner who wants to build a home, not a partner who wants to build a brand. This isn't about hating American women. American women are simply adapting to the environment they were raised in, an environment that rewards independence and career success. But that environment has come at a cost to romantic polarity. The Passport Brothers are not a glitch. They are a correction. They are a signal that the modern Western approach to gender relations is failing to meet the basic human needs of half the population. Until the West finds a way to balance modern equality with traditional romantic harmony, the departure gates will remain full, and the planes will keep flying east and south. This is the reality of the modern dating market. Thanks for watching World Inside Us.